What's up, guys? I am back, and today we will be discussing a pretty controversial player in Ben Simmons, because, a lot of people aren't a fan of him, but I'm going to be talking about him today, and why I think he is actually super underrated. So, yeah, let's just get into the stats real quick. So he averages 16.7 points, about half a block, 2 steals, 8 assists, and about 8 rebounds. Those are nice stats, right? His field goal percentage is ridiculous at 58%. And yeah, he's a great player. He's maybe one of the best defensive players in the league, probably top 5. At least I would have him ranked as top 5. Maybe you'd have him right outside the top 5, but a spectacular defender. Everyone's knock with him is that he doesn't shoot threes. And people have a problem with this. But my question is, why? It has never hindered his game. And it wouldn't hinder his team if the Sixers could build a team correctly. They don't have shooters around them. I saw a guy who legitimately thought it'd be a good trade to trade DeMar DeRozan, or Tobias Harris for DeMar DeRozan. It's like the stupidest trade I've ever heard. You get even less spacing. But that's the issue. They have no shooting on that team. If they actually build around him correctly, let's just say, presumably, they build around him perfectly, he should have a team similar to what Giannis has. Shooters everywhere. Just everywhere. And he could be an MVP candidate like Giannis. Because if I'm being honest, he is more skilled than Giannis. But his full potential hasn't been brought out like Giannis's has. His team's built poorly. And I don't even think that means they need to trade him. I actually think he's a good fit at center. Because he can stretch the floor a little bit. But they have to have shooters around him. You can't just have Embiid and Tobias Harris and then have Al Horford, who's terrible at shooting this season. Tobias Harris isn't the best shooter ever, especially for your starting small forward. It's just sad. But let's say, presumably, he does start to take threes because he succumbs to peer pressure. It's stupid. He's not going to be good from it. You want to know another player that has done it because we all yelled at him to do it? Russell Westbrook. Everyone wanted him to shoot threes. He starts to shoot threes. Everyone yells at him to stop shooting threes because he can't make them. Everyone wanted him to. So why when he started, is it a bad thing? That's my question. If Ben Simmons starts shooting threes and he shoots like 20%, everyone on the NBA tour is going to start yelling at him for shooting threes. Even though, like, a week ago, everyone was telling him to start shooting threes. It's just sad. It really is just sad. That's what it's come to. You just can't make the people happy. And it sucks, but it's true. Ben Simmons is having, statistically, probably his second best season. But barely any worse than his last season. He's one of the best passers in the NBA, and that's not up for debate. He is definitely the best defensive point guard in the NBA. He has ridiculous, if you like advanced stats, all of his, even if defensive advanced stats aren't the greatest, he's got amazing ones of them. His win shares are spectacular. He just, his true shooting percentage is amazing at 60%. PER is really good at almost 21. He's just such a great player, but people just don't like him because he's not going to launch up threes. But he just never has because he doesn't have to. It wouldn't make sense for him. It would make the Sixers just ridiculously worse. Like, it's not even funny how much worse it would make them. Because he would go from shooting like 50% down to like 48%, 47%. And from a guy who's shooting 58%, that's bad. He may even get even lower. Because It just doesn't make sense. Eventually, yes, it would help him to develop a bit of a three ball, but it's not mandatory. Until you know he can hit it, I would rather him not shoot it. Because would you like him to start shooting like Russell Westbrook? I don't think so. That doesn't seem very smart. That's how you end up with another Russell Westbrook, a guy who's going to be shooting threes when he shouldn't. Because, everyone thought it would be a good idea, but when he does it, they realize it was a horrible idea. I just think it's just not good. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. He leads the league in steals this season. That's something to talk about. He has the best. He leads the league in steals, and for a 6'10" guy, that's pretty good. Because normally that's for the smaller guys. It's just something to kind of think about. Just that maybe in a basketball standpoint, it would not make sense to have him shooting threes. And maybe you think it would. Maybe you would rather him shoot 20%. Maybe make like one a game on like 5 attempts. Even if I don't think it's smart whatsoever. Maybe you think that it would improve his game. I also hate the people who hate on him for not having a three ball. That's just stupid. Like, bro, come on. It's kind of just, it's dumb at this point to hate on him because he can't launch threes from half court. You know what I mean? Like, why does he have to? And would you like him to start shooting like Jarrett Culver or like Jordan Poole? Both of them shoot below 30% from three, which is really bad. I think Jordan Poole's super overrated. I don't know why people like him, Like, here's his teammate, Josh Richardson, shooting an abysmal 32%. That's bad. And look, here's Luka, who's actually a guy I forgot to include in my last video about the mixtape effect. Yeah, he's not a good shooter. I don't know why people think he is. He's actually a pretty piss poor shooter because he shoots them from too deep. Shoots too many step backs. Yeah. Dinwiddie's not a great shooter. And here's Giannis, who I'm not mad with his 30%. You know what? Whatever. It's actually not bad for a guy who is not good at shooting. Let's find another guy who shoots too much. If I look up, I'm sure I can find it. Dario Saric, he's terrible at shooting this season for whatever reason. I don't really see that many people who like to shoot it, even though they shouldn't. Wiggins does, I guess, Kuzma's really bad, except for from the corner, but, It's just a thing of... you just gotta think about this for a second. Does that make sense? Because if you really think about it, it takes away points. It makes him worse. Because he averages like... I actually don't know what he averages. Hold up. Let me just pull up exactly what he averages. But he averages like 17 points. Right? So if he averages that, but he starts to take three balls, this is going to take away some of his shots from the paint, which he's amazing at. Some of his floaters, some of his, just dunking. He's really nice at finishing. Let's see what he averages. So he averages 16.7. I thought so. You could probably take away a couple points from that. He'd probably be more like 14 or 15 points. Because he's actually going to score a lot less because he's so much less efficient. That extra point added on to, obviously 3 is better than 2, but he's not going to make many of them, which is going to drag down his field goal percentage, and it's going to drag it down so much, he's going to average less points. Oh yeah, that's all I got for today. It was kind of just a little bit of a rant. I swear if this gets more videos than the last one, I felt I made a good video last time. A really good video, but whatever. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. It's my last video, and yeah, like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at RedsFan3306.